Hello, hello. We are trying this again. This time we're on a different platform. Um, and honestly, I'm glad to be back. This is something I missed doing for a while. Yeah, let's dive right on in here. Welcome once again to Amateur Podcast. I am Thaddeus, and he is.
Duran,
There we go. Now you know who we are.
the
So,
amazing, the incredible,
the amateur, that's who we are.
I guess.
Because yeah, because
That's what we are.
that's what we are. So what do we want to talk about today? So let's see. There's a lot of things I want to talk about, but we don't have that much time. I
Yeah,
mean, we do, but we don't.
not that much.
Not that much. Motherfuckers got to sleep. So
Yeah, if we talked about everything he wanted to talk about, I'll be 57 and I'm in my 20s.
damn, I
So
was gonna say 4 a.m.
no,
Jeez.
you looked at that list. You looked at the same list I looked at. Mm-mm.
Okay. What list? Oh, you. Oh, that's what you mean by everything I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little inside joke, you guys. I'll get to that in some other point later on. So, what are we going to talk about today? So, the three topics that we are going to talk about, I'm going to save the big one for the last unveiling. But the first one, um, you know, therapy is something that we always, I think so many people, they throw out how important it is, but I also
It
think
is.
there's a lot of people out there who also don't point out how
Don't think it's
important it
important.
is. And because of that, a lot of people don't go.
Hmm.
I actually, and let me stop blabbering and tell you guys what the damn topic is. Is talking to your fringe. What the fuck? I'm over here tripping over words. Is talking to your friends slash family just as effective as going to therapy? Um, so that's the first topic. The second topic is being envious a part of human nature? And then our third topic for tonight is actually kind of blends in. Does overprotection of your phone while around your partner mean that you're cheating? And should we blame society for our potential insecurities when it comes to overprotection of our cell phones? Let's dive right on in with number one. Uh,
Hmm.
so Alex, guy named Alex at my beautiful job, which you guys will not know what it is. Sorry, not
Hmm.
sorry.
I'm not gonna say it.
Um, me and him have talked about this before. I shouldn't say used to, I still kind of do, because motherfuckers ain't normal. But
Specify.
going to therapy, I
Uh-huh.
think I think it's changed me for the better. I remember the first time I went. It was because it was a couple years back before I started at uni, and I will remember being very nervous about how I will be looked at by my potential roommates at the time and by my classmates. And I also at the time have never lived away from home. So I was genuinely like I had my shit and pants on. Like they were on all the time. And I needed to talk to someone about it. So now, Duran, I don't know if you've ever been to therapy, but I can. This is a good one for me because I can tell you the experiences I've had with an actual educated therapist versus speaking to friends and family, and I can tell you and pinpoint exactly why they're different and how they're both
Okay.
unique and honestly imperative in their own specific uh, ways. So first, let
So
me break. Let me ask you: so have you been to therapy before?
I have not ever, but
Okay,
I think it's so important, and I just haven't ever gone.
so it's it's funny because I don't actually I didn't know this. Honestly, I did not know if you did. So that was actually, even though you're like my best friend, that's actually, I did not know if you've been to therapy or not. Um, is it something that you've considered doing?
I have considered it heavily at certain points. Basically, when I'm doing fine, I'm like, I don't need therapy. And then when I'm doing bad, I'm like, why the hell wasn't I in therapy? Now I need someone to tell all this, but I have to explain all the context. I have to get comfortable with a therapist. And it's just like, no, I don't feel it. I don't have enough energy to just take care of myself now. So it's like, when I'm feeling good, like now, I should probably just say and go ahead and go get a therapist. But
But
that's kind of.
what about when you're feeling bad? Do you
Yeah,
feel the
when I'm feeling bad, I'm like, yes, I would love to talk to a therapist right now, but I want someone I trust and like who knows me, and so I'm not gonna just come into a therapist who doesn't know me and be like, here's all my problems, basically.
oh well, don't come into the therapist. Wink, wink.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
You
if
know
they're
I
into
had
that
to.
kind of thing.
You know I had to.
Anyway, yeah,
Um,
that's what I'm saying.
I
I don't
don't
want to just
think
go in there and be like,
I don't think
my
they're gonna
life
like
sucks. This is
that.
yeah, I don't want to do
So
that. Hmm.
okay, I guess this is going to be a topic that I'm probably going to dominate most of because I've had experience with the both of them. So I think the main, at least for me, um, I don't think talking to your friends and your family is just as effective. I think, and you know what? It's the B word, a bias. Like, I think that you're always going to have that when you speak to friends and family. I think they love you, they care a lot about you, and I think anyone who goes to an actual therapist knows this. They know that they can't go to their friends and family about what their true, genuine issues are because they're not going to get what they need to hear. You need to speak
Uh,
to someone who, at least I feel like, if you really genuinely need a guidance, you need to speak to someone who you don't know, so they can look at you and say, hey, I'm telling you this not because I care about you, not because you're paying me, or I'm basically telling you this because I am giving you my professional advice. While with, a mom
mhm.
or dad or significant other, a close friend, are they not going to give you good advice? No, they're going to give you good advice. But at the same time, your well being is going to be a part of that. And
Right,
it's
right.
going to
I
play
think
a role. It
yeah,
is.
I think it's like it's like that situation where your friends and family will take your side without knowing if you're right or not. Like a lot of times, like you'll tell your friend like, "Oh my goodness, this person and I got into an argument," and because your friends like and care about you, they'll assume immediately that you were right, and anything you try and explain, it's like for a lot of times, a lot of situations, especially like parents too, they assume like you can do no wrong, so you're the person you're arguing with was most likely wrong and they just didn't understand you or something like that. I feel like that's like a huge factor when it comes to like why you can't just trust them. And certain like family members have gone through certain life experiences that are like, let's say they went through a really bad breakup. Now they're going to be like, you can't trust men type thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and
And
so everyone's advice is heavily covered by colored by their life experiences, and I feel like therapists kind of they experience a lot of different people's lives by talking to them constantly all day, so they can give you more of a balanced nuanced perspective.
so, piggybacking off of this, what do you think needs to happen? How can I word this? Okay, so what do you think? How bad does your issues have to be before you say, family, friends, I don't care what you have to say. I need to speak to a professional.
Honestly, and this is kind of coming from someone who hasn't ever been, I have, as long as you have someone that you feel comfortable talking to about those things, like if you have enough family and friends, and like for me, I have a lot, like a whole lot of people I could talk to about a certain thing. I need to have like a different conversation. Like, so let's say I get a, from one friend, I get advice A. I need to go to friend B and C and D and E. And I feel like talking to a ton of different friends and people can sort of like give you that balanced, nuanced perspective that I need to make my decision or, resolve whatever emotions I'm feeling about an issue. But if you only have like two people to talk to and you need to talk, like, depending on the gravity of the situation, you might need to talk to 10 people about it. For me, I would need to talk to about 10 people. I could just talk to one therapist and I feel like I resolve that issue. But if you don't have enough like people in your network to speak to about this issue, or that will help you make progress and resolve whatever it is you're feeling, then I think people will start like, okay, now I need to probably speak to a therapist because I've already talked to every single person I can about this, and they keep telling me the same thing, and they're getting tired of hearing it from me. They're getting tired of having the same conversation with me, type thing.
So do
Does
you
that
think
make
it,
sense?
it does, but do you think it's more about having enough people to talk to versus speaking to a professional?
I think I think it's about that balanced, nuanced perspective, like approaching an issue from all angles. And if you only have three people to talk to, and it's a very complicated issue, you're never gonna be like you're never gonna resolve that emotional tension, and so the problem is gonna get worse and worse. And then you're gonna talk to a therapist about it
So,
because
okay, so let's say, and I actually recently did this with the whole, you know, the whole job offer thing, that I was going through a couple of weeks ago. Um, let's say you have about, I don't know, about 10 people that you decide to talk to about a specific issue. And you're not going to a therapist, you don't have a therapist in mind, you don't plan on going to one. What would you usually do? Would you just say, "Hey, I'm going to speak to those 10 people and whatever is the main, you know, consistent
I uh-huh.
like
Well,
piece of
when you're
advice you get, that's what you go with?"
no, I specifically make sure those 10 people are as different as I can. So
Okay.
like I'll be like, oh, a person who always looks at the world from a negative point of view, a person who always looks at the world from a positive point of view, a person who looks, who's somewhere in the middle, like that type of thing. A man, a woman, a child, an old person, all different types of. Like I want to have as broad of a sample size. It's almost like I'm like taking a test, like and gathering it, like doing a study, as many different opinions and as varied people as possible. Like let's say you like if you go to your group of 10 guy friends and they're all like very similar, they're gonna have the same perspective really because you're all really similar. But if you get yourself and then you get your mom and you get like your friends, your friend's dad and like, whoever is in your corner, then you'll be more likely, I think, to have that nuanced opinion and be able to make progress because like an older generation might see things differently and a newer generation will be like, oh, that was not a big deal, or this is not a complicated situation, do what's best for you type thing. um I think it's about that, like
Hmm.
when you're selecting your people. And if you have, so even if you have 100 people, if those 100 people are all, I don't know, women, or they all share some characteristic, and you're like, I need a different perspective, you could still be like, I need to talk to a therapist about this because you can't make the emotional progress that you need to make, I think.
Okay. Okay. Um, so for me, when I decided to start going to a therapist a couple of years back, I think my biggest motivator for the decision was I felt I felt like I did not have enough people in my life that understood exactly what I was going through. And while the therapist might not specifically know, he or she probably would have spoken to other people who were in my shoes and thus can base it everything off of everything they tell me off of their experience, you know? have you gone through something that you thought was might have been worthy of being a conversation to be had with an actual professional therapist, and do you regret not going to them?
Um. Okay. So I assume what you're saying it would be like a decision that I made that I'm like, oh, now that decision is permanent. For me, it's not like the things I want to talk to a therapist about. I can always talk to them about because it's something that happened in the past, typically that I haven't fully like resolved. It's like that made me feel a certain way, and I never really addressed it. But let's just put a bookmark on that and move on with my life.
Well, what
Type
about things that
situations.
are what about things that are currently ongoing? Like,
Well, yes, yes. There's you just know me, so you know my life, so you know there's specifically one thing that I would love to talk to a therapist about right now. But
and you know what? And let's, and I'm not going to go into detail about it, but touching on it when it was happening, do you think that it would have helped if you were speaking to a professional while it was happening?
that I think it would have helped me arrive at some decisions that I made sooner, quicker, more swiftly, than I was able to do on my own. So, like, if you have to make an immediate, a very impactful life choice, talking to a therapist is probably very like a very good idea. Like immediately, as soon as you can. Uh, but yes, at that specific time while it was happening, I was like, gosh, I wish I had cultivated a relationship with someone I trust who has a nuanced and neutral perspective on my life that I could just reflect, go to and just say, hey, what do you think? And they know me really well already, so they know what I'm like, and they know, maybe I have talked to them about some of my other issues, or some background information that they would have type
Okay.
thing. So it's like, yeah, I would really love that right now. Don't have it. Gotta adjust. Haven't had it ever, so I don't really like, you know.
So, if you had the ability to sign up for, you know, to connect with some therapist right now, let's say it was 100% free, right?
Yes.
Free, convenient. Like, I'm talking about if you can literally start talking to this person tomorrow.
Yeah.
Would you?
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. Do you think that everybody, and we will end this topic on this note, do you think that everybody should speak to a therapist?
Absolutely. Because I don't care, no matter who you are, there's something that's happened in your life that you're like, oh no, like that's like either a regret or, trauma or something that's happened in your past, your present or your future now. Cause like I said, you could have that relationship and use it in the future. That's gonna happen to you during your life that you're gonna be like, huh, I wish I really did have that, experienced person in my life to tell me, hey, this is how when I talk to people who are in this situation, this is usually what happens. Like, I don't know. So it's like you're gonna need that at some point. You're gonna have some issue. I don't. No one's perfect, so you're gonna have some issue that you're like, I wish I would have done what I'm suggesting everyone do, which is go to therapy and have a relationship with your therapist before you start delving into those issues. Have some background so they know you.
You know what? I agree with that because, like, you know, I think a lot of people's biggest issues with going to therapy is at the end of the day, that's that person's job. And most people, when they work, they're working to get a paycheck. And I think they're so afraid of opening up to someone and all they're getting in return is paying someone's bills. Like they're not there's like there's nothing they're really getting back. There's no true advice they're getting back. Only thing that's happening is that they're paying this person. And I will admit there were times, there were sessions I've had, there were questions that I had asked in therapy that I was like, I got the answer, and I'm not saying I didn't like the answer. I just felt like that was something I could have
Arrived at it
asked
on your
like
own.
I could have asked my mom or something, and she probably could have told me the same answer, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
and, and it's little stuff like that that makes you go, okay, this isn't worth it, you know. Then I will admit, there are times where you start seeing more of that happen, and then you have to ask yourself, is this heal? Is this am I healing? You
Yeah,
know,
I
like
mean,
am I?
am I making the progress that I want to make?
Yeah,
Because you're constantly the goal that you're going is to become a better version of yourself. You know.
exactly. And I used to go what? How often did I used to go? I used to go like every maybe like once every 2 weeks, and I noticed that as I got like as time went on, the meetings became less intense, and my questions became a little bit more elementary. And I'm like, I'm getting to that point where I can start solving some of these issues myself, or at least by talking to a friend or a family member. And I think that's a part of the healing process. Now, if it's happening very early on, that means that either one, you're probably not trying and you're not opening up so you can actually heal, or two, your therapist blows and you probably should go and get another one.
Oh, that's something we didn't even touch on.
What?
Some I've heard terrible stories. I'm like, someone's like, my therapist told me to do this. I'm like, how long have they been a therapist? Oh, a
What,
year.
what,
I'm like,
what
oh
was it? What was
gosh.
it? I want to know.
Someone's like, oh yeah, my therapist told me that I need to. What did they say it was? It was like financial advice that they needed to do, and I'm like, that's not how you talk
You
to
don't
for
remember
that.
what it was?
It's like it would require too much explanation right now.
You can't run. I want to know.
We have
Damn it.
other topics to get to. I'll tell you
Okay,
later.
okay. We'll talk about. Apparently, we have it in part two at some point later on down the road.
tell this tell this person's life story.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know the person. First of all, I want to know if I personally think the therapist was wrong or not. Because
The
apparently, you
therapist
guys
was
think they were wrong.
the therapist was like mathematically incorrect. What else?
Okay. All right. Uh, Duran, do you want to do And we both agree that these next two topics basically touch on each other. Would you rather save the overprotection of your phone one
Yeah,
for
I agree with the order you presented things.
last?
Yes, I definitely agree with the order you
Okay.
presented them.
The next on the list is being envious a part of human nature? This should be a fun one. This shouldn't hit any chords whatsoever. All right.
um. Okay. Do you want me to? I'll give it a little
I
back.
mean, if you want me to give you, I'm going to give you a short answer. I think it is
Okay.
part of human nature. Otherwise, we wouldn't be feeling it.
Yes and no. I
That's my
yes it
short
is. Yeah, yes, it is. I think you're onto something. It's a part of human nature, but more people. Some people are naturally more envious than others. Some people are naturally more jealous than others. And I feel like jealousy and envy are basically the same emotion. Um, would you say I'm wrong in that? Jealousy, envy. I think they're the same emotion.
I thought they were the same thing.
They are. They kind of are. They kind of are. I mean, there's different words for a reason. But because connotations and all that. But I think some people are naturally more jealous, and I think those people are naturally the type to compare themselves to others, and some people aren't the type to do that. Like naturally, I don't find myself comparing. Like in my day to day life, I don't find myself comparing myself to anybody else. But
And
there's
good,
a
because
but
I will admit it's very hard to not to. But go ahead.
right, and no, I don't think so. I don't think it's that hard unless someone like comes to me and is like tells me like this is a direct comparison in view to this other person. It doesn't usually come up, or this other person says something like they come up to me and they're like, "Well, I'm doing amazing, look what I just did, I bought 7 houses and I'm 17." And I'm like, oh shoot, where what did I do wrong? Type thing. It's not like it's not something that and I think what really is helpful in that is staying off of social media, because social media I think is a big driver of that. Everyone wants to talk about how amazing their life is, no one wants to talk about how terrible their life is.
Oh, you know what? It's funny you bring that up because that was totally a topic that I wanted to talk about at some point. Is social media's effect? Because and you know what? I guess we can throw it in here real quick because it kind of does touch on it a little bit. I don't like when people I don't like when people go places and they do fun things, and they want to put it on social media. And
Why?
if they, because it doesn't make any sense. Why are you putting it on social media for? Why do we care?
What? Okay.
Why do I care that you at Disney World? Like, why do I
What?
care that you're in Hawaii?
Okay, now I think you're taking a way too cynical approach. I
Are you
think,
you kidding me?
yeah. Well, I think, well,
How?
it depends on who's on your social network. Like for like me specifically, if I go to Disneyland, of course I'm going to go there, and then of course I'm going to record it because I want to remember the experience for myself later on.
No,
And
okay.
then,
Okay. Hold on a second.
uh huh,
So there are people who they'll go out for like a Friday night, or they'll go out with their friend. They do something fun, and they'll put it on like a story on Snapchat.
yeah, I don't get it, but I see it. I see it all the time. Yeah,
But
I'm at this
that's what I
party.
mean. This stuff like that I mean. And you know what? So I'm a big wrestling fan, right? I probably mentioned this in the past. I'm going to
Mhm.
mention it again, right? Big wrestling fan. I went to a wrestling event earlier this year, and I I did put like maybe I put one video on Snapchat, but I recorded tons of material, right? Tons. And most of it rests on my phone. And a lot of the stuff that's on my phone, it's for my personal memory. Okay?
Yeah, I get that.
I didn't put it on Facebook. I didn't put it on X, Twitter, whatever it's called. I didn't put it on, anything else, Instagram.
Right,
Because I know, like, who cares that I was there?
and I
Who
totally
cares?
get that. I think there's a lot of social pressure to post when you're having a good time, because if you didn't post about it, it didn't happen, and that's the the philosophy I think our generation has. If you didn't post about it and you didn't let everyone know that you were doing it, did you really even do it?
But now that brings me back to the original question. When you're on, when and I'm not talking about you specifically, but just society. When the role is on the other foot, right? Or when the roles are reversed, okay? Are you envious when you look at other people's stuff and say, "Oh wow, they're at Disney World. They're at I don't know, they're in Los Angeles. They're living it up in New York City." Like, are you
Um,
envious for them, and then that's why you do what you do when you
and
go
that's why
out?
you I think it's a possibility, but I think it's more so not that you're envious of. I don't know. I think people like to post when they're having a good time, but and then I think it's like an echo chamber where no one is like, "Hey, I just had the really saddest day of my life. Let me post it." So the only thing you ever see on there are good things, and so you think that the only thing you're ever supposed to post are good things, and
But it's so stupid because it's like, oh, I'm posting because I'm having a good time. That doesn't even sound smart. Well,
no.
you're having a good time and you're worrying about social media. That's what you're thinking
Well,
about right now.
honestly, I don't understand the people who are like, "Let me take this out and record this specifically for Twitter, for specifically for Snapchat, specifically for Instagram."
And those are the
I don't
people
get
do
that
it
at
all the
all.
time, and I don't get it. I really don't. I
I'll be
like,
with you on that. I understand. I recorded this video in the past, or I recorded this video today on my birthday. Let me post it.
and I
Type thing.
guarantee you, if someone was here, someone else was on here, they'd be like, "Oh, oh well, we recorded for our own memories." You can do that without even using a social media app, you guys. I don't know if you know this, but there is a camera app that is on
Stop.
your phone, and it records just for your own personal storage. Okay, so no
Stop.
one else has to know what you're doing on a Friday night after work. No one else has to know who you're hanging out with. No one else has to know where you and your family went over the summer. Why do so many people? And I swear, I feel like people only do it because they see other people doing it. Like,
Exactly. Which is so now, because you don't want to be the weird person who has no posts on your page, so you have to post something, right? And so, what are you going to post? You're not going to post yourself being sad. You have to post yourself being happy. And so,
although there are people who go on social media and you know what? I actually give those people respect because they post the good shit. Oh, shaking my ass at the beach. They post all that good shit. And then when their life is terrible, oh, I grab the popcorn because
uh
it's good entertainment because they let you know
no, no,
everything.
no, no, no. I'm not letting you weasel your way out of this one. You know, are you reveling in their misery? Are you comparing yourself to them? They're like, oh, at least they're doing worse than I am.
Hell no. I'm looking
Okay,
at it
I'm
from an
just saying, and
entertainment
I'm not
perspective.
saying. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that specifically to you. I'm saying it more
Oh,
like
you talk about
when
in
people
general.
post, yeah, when people post like sad
No,
things like that. The
I,
reason
I,
that gets engagement and
I
that
think
gets
it,
traction is
I
because
think it
people are,
depends.
yeah,
I think it depends on what it is. Like if you post online that someone died, it's like okay, you probably speaking to other people who also knew this person, and you
hmm
also probably informing them that they're no longer alive.
yeah.
So that's fine. What I mean when I say laughing and making a joke and stuff, I'm talking about like you putting your baby daddy on full blast, you know, or you talking about like some big mouth girl at your job who you want to punch in the nose or something. Like it's
Yeah,
little
be
stuff
like,
like that I'm talking about.
I get that. I get that. But I think people are also like, haha, that's not me type thing. I really think that's a lot. A lot of people maybe they don't think that consciously, but subconscious they're
I
like,
disagree. I
"Oh
think
my
they look
goodness,
at
my
it
life
like
could be so much worse." Is what they're
I
thinking.
don't. I don't think they do. I think they're looking at it like me. I think they're looking at it as like a this is
Drama,
past
entertainment
drama,
value.
and I'm not a part of it, and that's the best drama
Ah,
because I get a front
exactly.
seat to it.
I'm not a part
And
of it and my life is not dramatic. And
yeah,
so
that's
therefore,
not what that's not what I mean by entertainment though. I'm not going, oh giddy, I'm not in this, so I'm gonna. That's not what I mean. You know what I
I'm not
mean?
saying that. Yeah, I'm saying that
What
I
I
think
meant is like, like it's for the same reasons when we watch like Housewives of Atlanta or something, or what's that other
yes,
ghetto one everyone
yes.
watches? Love and Hip Hop. That's
Yeah.
the movie. What's the one on VH1?
I don't.
Um,
You talking to the wrong person.
no, I think it is Love and Hip Hop. I think Love and Basketball is no. Where's Google at? It's 2023. Let me just Google it. Wait. Uh,
Don't be calling
uh,
Google's name in here.
it is
No-
it is fucking called Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, don't be invoking the overlords,
Okay,
the
yeah.
technological
So stuff
overlords.
like Love and Hip Hop and all the Housewives, like I think it's for the same thing. It's like this is good entertainment, you know.
Okay.
But I
I think it goes right back to the this is good entertainment because
why?
you
Because
know
it's not. I don't know. I feel like some people actually. I think there's some people out there who actually don't mind being in drama because it makes their life interesting.
some people crave drama.
I mean, literally, they want to be. They cause it. They want to be in it because it makes their lives interesting. They want to. They want to seem like one of these love and hip hop people or these housewives people. They want to feel like their lives are a lot like them, but a lot more poor.
Right. I don't
Um,
know. I think it all
and
relates back to the nature of envy. I think it's like that's in its way of form of
so
reverse envy. That's like I'm glad that's not me type thing. I feel like a lot of
I'm
people are experiencing that and they don't want to admit it. I'm not saying that you are, but I'm just saying like I feel like that's a common thing.
well. Let's
And
do this. Let's be juicy here. Let's be juicy.
okay.
So I asked, is being envious human nature, right?
Yeah.
Have you been envious?
Yeah. Have I envied somebody for something? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like, oh, I wish I had that. Who hasn't? Like that's yes. Everyone's like, oh, I wish I had that
Well,
thing.
back it up. You said who hasn't?
Yeah.
I mean, there you go. I mean, I think that answers your question. If being envious is human nature.
I think it is and it isn't also because it's different levels for everyone. Because some people are insanely jealous. Like, oh my that's all they can think about is what is their partner doing and it's something's not right there. I think envy typically comes from not feeling content and everyone's level of what it takes to make them feel content is different, you know? Like some people need a mansion, they need, they're a trophy wife, they need all their friends, they need to be a doctor, they need to be a lawyer, they need everyone's respect. And some people just, oh, I can pay my bills, I can, you know, I have a kid, and that's all it takes for them. So yes, I think it's in everyone's DNA to be jealous, but there's a level in that you should be like maybe talking to a therapist about how to control your envy and feel more content and thankful for the life you currently have, you know?
Not you connecting to the first topic.
Yes, yeah,
Not
exactly.
you making a connection to all three topics.
Hmm.
Okay. Um. Well, I'm going to answer that question for myself too. But so I want to start before I answer that question. I want to answer the original question. I do think being envious is human nature. I think that I think we compare ourselves. I think we subconsciously do it too. We compare
Hmm.
ourselves to our to other people, especially people who are on the same level as us. Oh
Define
man,
what you mean by that.
I did it because I did it a lot in college. The it could be some guy in your class who you're like, man, they assumingly get all the girls. They look like they have everyone on on this campus is their friend. You know,
I
um,
don't know. I don't think like that. That's weird. I don't look at somebody and be like, hey, what aspect of their life do I really want? I want that one. Thanks. Give me that. Bye.
okay. I was also going to say I feel like there's not a lot of people who will admit that either. That people compare a lot.
No, people. I think people absolutely do compare themselves to each other, to other people. But I don't know. Like for me, I think it's specifically when someone
So
makes a
there's
comparison.
nobody you never compared yourself to at all in any category. Nobody.
And like,
There's
okay,
no
let's
one you
say I'm
ever compare
playing.
yourself and you're like, man, I'm a step behind. I gotta pick my shit up.
No, I don't because I don't like. For me, if I'm gonna make a comparison, I need to know this person really well. I need to know their whole life, basically. And if I know their whole life, I typically know something about them that's not that great. And I'm like, well, they might be excelling in this area, but they're not excelling in that area. So why would I, you know, like you can't just take the good parts of someone and leave the bad parts. Like, oh, like let's say this person has become a doctor. Well, they had to go to school for 8 years, and they probably have student loan debt, or maybe they haven't had a social life for these past 8 years. So it's all like like I don't know. That kind of balanced everything out in my head. Like there's no one you can say this person's life is perfect, or like let's say this person is surrounded by friends. They have like 100 friends. Well, you don't know what the depth of those relationships are. You don't know if they have someone that they can like at 2 o'clock in the morning call and be like, I need you to come here right now, and a person will actually go. But the person who has 3 friends, all 3 of them could like be that person that's like, I'm gonna show up for you no matter what. So like, you need so much information to be able to make a complete comparison like that. It's just not something that I do because it's like, hey, if I compare myself to this person, I'm comparing myself to not really this person, to what I think this person's life is like in the best case scenario, which is not helpful. Like, uh,
Okay. I will first let me start by saying I do think you should not be comparing yourself to anyone. Like I agree. I don't, and if that is truly how you and I trust you to believe that this is truthfully how you think. But if this is truthfully how you hold yourself in that category, I think you're 100% doing it the way that most people should. I don't think anyone should be comparing themselves to anyone. You do not know how that other person's life is. The grass might look greener on the other side. The shit might also be grass. It might be turf.
what?
You know,
Oh, it might be turf. That's what you meant.
it might be freaking. Those flowers might be fake. You know,
I don't know. You
um,
you I don't know. Have you ever met somebody who cultivated like a fake persona? Like who you could tell was all about that. Like I want everyone to think that my life is amazing, and then you like got to know them or talk to them, and you're like, gosh, your life sucks.
have I? Wow. You know what? No, not really. Because I feel
I've
like
I
if your
have.
life sucks, I feel like most people they let it
Mm,
show in some way, shape, or form.
I had that experience in high school where I was like, I think, yeah, where I was, I guess, thinking in that form of like, oh, this person's like super popular, they're well liked, you know, I can tell their family has a lot of money, and they got to know them. And you're like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't trade my life for yours ever. Like,
Okay, and that's usually what happens after you meet someone, just because you guys aren't the same. So there's gonna be something that happens in their life that you're just like,
exactly. So it's no use
no.
comparing yourself like that.
Um. Now the answer to my final question is: have I ever been envious? I think a lot of my
You have.
enviousness. Okay, first of
I'm just
all,
I'm
I
just
was
saying
getting it.
we just the whole topic is like
Talk
I
about
already know
some.
the answer. You
You
have
don't have to
like
put me on blast like that. First of all, I was gonna put my
what?
own on
This whole
blast.
segment has been all about about how it's inherently normal and natural to feel
First, okay,
envy.
let me slowly break down like I always do what I was gonna say. All right.
Okay.
Back in freaking high school, I did a lot of comparing because okay, so obviously when you're in high school, like the horny juices are flowing,
Oh my
and
gosh. I
I
didn't know we were
thought
going here.
I thought like I don't know, I was weird in high school. I thought that like I was under the impression that anyone who was like hot had the greatest life ever. You know? Like I don't I don't know why. Like I guess I just thought that because they were hot, like they can get anyone to basically do whatever the hell they wanted them to do for them. You know. Um.
Right.
So
And
whenever I saw some like hot dude, I'm like, damn, I wish I had his, his body or his hair. I'd probably be talking to, everyone would know my name too. Um, I have like in high again mainly in high school. I have met someone. Actually, I take that back. There's a few people in college too who I met, and they're very attractive. And I thought that they were good people, but like once I finally like got a chance to see what their life was all about, I was like, dude, I
exactly.
think I will take my nowhere near perfect body over theirs because
Right.
that life
Cuz
of theirs, they can keep that.
right, like okay,
Um,
like let's for example just grab any random celebrity. Okay, odds are they're conventionally attractive. Odds are they have a ton of money. But every single social relationship that they have is cultured as you know is colored by, are these people, do they really like me or do they like my money? Like they have to ask themselves that every single time they meet someone.
you know what? I feel like that's why a lot of celebrities end up dating other celebrities too, because it's like they're not there for the money, and you know that because they got their own damn money.
Exactly.
They also have the ability to date whoever the hell they want to, for the most part, because they're rich and wealthy and famous. So they got options, and so you would know that there has to be some form of genuine love there, hypothetically, of course, because there's so many celebrities out there that divorce. You know,
Hmm. But yeah,
um,
they're
but
people.
a lot of my enviousness came in high school. Like it was like man, I wish I had that person's body. And then I went on to lose weight, right? Which I will talk about some other time because that's a whole topic. Um, but I did end up losing weight, and some of those people I never looked remotely still now close to what they look like. But um, I look I look much better than I did in high school,
Okay.
and I just will say that like I mean, I can clearly you can't. I was wrong. Being hot can't get you anything you want with me.
It's not the
No,
ultimate cheat code.
yeah. I mean, maybe in high school it was
No,
because people
I
were
will say
shallow.
this. No, I'll say this. It gives you a lot of leeway, but it still don't make up for completely inexcusable behavior. You'll be like I know you hot, but like you just went 70 in a 20.
Yeah. At that point, though, we might end up with Never mind.
Okay, it was just an example.
All right. So our last final topic for today. This one kind of touches on it a little bit. It touches on a little bit. I mean, I'm sure Duran will find a way to bleed it in
Oh,
as
of
to where
course.
it combines. But this is a long ass one. Does overprotection of your phone while around your partner mean that you're cheating? And should we blame society for our potential insecurities when it comes to overprotection of our phones?
Now, do you want to talk about this? Because I have a lot to say about that.
Um, so does our overprotection of your phone while around your partner mean that you're cheating? Let's see. Hell no.
Whoa, whoa,
I
whoa.
don't think. I don't. Like, you know, this 2020. I think this is such a stupid question because it's 2023. We got so much shit on our phones, so much
A lot of
so
stuff.
much, so much
Your life is
really
on your
sensitive,
phone, basically,
sensitive information. There's people who don't even carry wallets anymore. They have a phone case, and their
with their
cards are
ID.
in there.
Yep.
And then even on that, if they have that, there's even their watches have the capability of making purchases. And you trying to tell me that
Yep.
I'm hiding my phone because I got a little bit of titties in my phone? You know, or I got something else that I'm trying to hide from you? Maybe it's my social security number or something. I don't know. Maybe it's something that has access to my social security number. You know,
Okay. All right. I hear what you're saying, and I have to counter you on this, which all that information absolutely is on your phone. It absolutely is. But you know what else is? But you know what all that stuff is? Information that you don't want your partner to know and that they don't currently know. If they did know it, then you wouldn't have to hide it, right?
Mr. Duran, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Your last person that you were your favorite person.
What?
Your last person that was your favorite person, aka the person you dated, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Are they someone at any point in you guys' relationship is were they someone who you would have wanted your personal information in their hands?
No. Right. Right. I think. Well, we're broken up now, so I can clearly say no. But
Yeah, but
um,
that's why I said at any point. I mean, even when it was going well.
no. Well, no, because in the beginning of a relationship, I'm sorry, in throughout the vast majority of a relationship, what are you doing? You're getting to know the person, and so what you're really doing is getting to know whether or not this is someone you can trust that information with. Because when when you have a partner, you're sharing yourself with them. Like, so you start off like on a first date by sharing 2% of yourself, maybe 5% of yourself, and then as you get to know them better, you have more time, you share more and more and more of yourself until eventually you're like, dang, I'm at 80%. They haven't run away yet. Let's see if I can get the last 20%. To just share that with them, and throughout that process, there's going to be a lot of information that you don't want them to know, like, or that's not relevant to them, or if they knew it right now, they might cause it might cause them to make an early judgment or snap judgment about you, right? So
So,
it is
okay.
healthy throughout a large majority of a relationship to be overprotected over your phone. However, after a certain amount of time, you should have gotten to a level with your partner that you completely trust them. And I'm not talking about no 1 year. I'm not talking about no 3 years. I'm not even talking about no 5 years. I'm talking about y'all been married for 27 years. If they can't unlock your phone and do whatever they want to do on your phone, then there's a problem.
Did y'all hear the sass behind those numbers? I ain't talking about year three neither.
Exactly. And
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
saying that eventually with a partner, you should get to the level of, I have no secrets that I keep from you that you could go through my phone and find out. But that's not where everyone should be. And obviously in a relationship, like, if you don't know the person, you don't even want them knowing the password to your phone. Like, get away from me. Like, you don't want them seeing anything on your phone. Like, this is our third date. Like, get away from me. I don't want you to see.
Exactly. So, but I feel like most people would take that as he cheating. He got like five side pieces. You know, I'm probably not even the entree. Somebody else is probably the entree. I'm probably a side piece too. Like them anxieties start going through people's heads, and in reality, you just don't want them to know your credit card number.
You
You know?
don't want them to know your address or what? Yeah, whatever it is. You're like,
Like,
oh shoot, I don't want them to see how much money I got in my right now, type thing.
Yeah. So now, if other people were on this podcast, they'd probably say the same thing. Like, oh well, there's ways that you guys can talk about that where you're able to, basically protect that information while still being comfortable with your significant other going through the parts of your phone that doesn't have that information.
Well,
Um, Now that leads me to the next final question. The part of this topic is: should we blame society for our potential insecurities when it comes to overprotection of our phones?
absolutely, because I
I
think
okay,
I I would say absolutely it's all society's fault. Because eventually, in the past there weren't any phones, right? So no one was, overprotective of. What were they
okay,
overprotective? Wait, hold on.
okay.
Let me make my point. They were overprotective of their financial documents. They were overprotective of their cabinet. They were overprotective of things that had a lot of information about them that they could hide. Like, no, you can't go into my office. That's where I keep all my work information. No, stay out of my office type thing. They were like, don't come to my job, like, stuff like that. Um, and like, they kept their social lives separate and stuff like that. But as
Yeah.
society's evolved, now everything's super super connected, and you can, you know, order a pizza, schedule an appointment with your doctor, um, get your bank information, get something delivered to you on Amazon, buy a plasma TV, and call your next hookup all at the same time within an hour span. So it's like society has become so connected now that everyone's instantly accessible. So if your partner possibly dips into a closet for a second, they could be going to get, you a towel from your shower, or they could be texting their side piece. You have no idea what they're doing. And you have to trust your partner so much more now than you had to trust them back when, everyone was a farmer and there was like 10 men in your town. And so you're like, well, the other 9 men ain't here. So, you didn't even have anything to worry about. But now you have so much to worry about. The stakes have gotten even higher, and it's gotten even easier if you have no moral compass to like do things that are unethical.
So, but why do we even care about, like? I get that we don't want our feelings hurt, 'cause obviously being cheated on sucks. But like, we have access to so many. I mean, look, we got whole shows about people going outside the country to find their significant others. Like, it's so easy. I mean, I've dated people who I literally would have never met without my cell phone. Never. Without the
Exactly.
internet. Never.
Exactly.
So if the option, people like to sit back and, well, the sea is just filling nothing but just no fish, and they like to pretend like they don't have options, but in reality you have more options than
Today
ever
than
before.
you ever had before. It
So
was You had
where's this?
horses. You didn't even have cars back in the day.
So why do we care so much about, like, why do we, it seems like we care more about cheating now than before, and we have way more options now than we did back then.
We care I think we care about it more because it's happens more now. And that's why everyone's like, "Oh my goodness!" Before it used to be, everyone got married, and anyone
I
any cheating was an affair, and you never
I
heard about it.
disagree. I feel like cheat. I was going to say this earlier on. I feel like cheating happened way more back then.
What?
I, f-
Why?
I feel like it's easier to get caught now, and I think that's the reason why it seems so. It seems like something that happens way more now. But that's because, first of all, people throw everything into that cheating category. I mean, everything. Like, if you flirt with someone that you've never met before, if you say one cute little thing to them, people grab the pitchforks. You
I
know,
have. I Yes.
so everything, there's a lot of stuff out there that's classified as cheating now. But like back then, I feel like you can go and do anything you want with anyone outside your marriage, and no one. There's a good chance that no one's ever going to find out about it
Okay.
because,
Yeah, because there's only,
yeah.
how's the news going to get back to them? I think you are absolutely correct about that. That maybe cheating happened more often than we're giving them credit for. But you have, I don't think something you're counting is just like we said. You have so many more options now, like travels, like instantly. Like you could be like you like right now you could book a trip to Las Vegas or something and have 3 dates by the time you get there. Like right now, today, right now, book a ticket, and by the time you get on the flight and get there, you could have arranged to meet 3 strangers for a date. That was not an
Okay.
option back then. Like you'd had to write a letter and then send it out to the people, and like, okay, now they read my letter, and now
Write
okay,
a letter.
they,
Damn.
well, I don't know how old this
What
is.
year are you in
Send
right
a
now?
telegraph. I don't know. I'm looking at 1750, something like that.
You said 1750?
I'm just an example. Some
I'm
old
thinking
beer.
about the 60s or something. You talk,
Oh,
jeez.
yeah. I was thinking about before we had cars, but okay.
No, I was thinking about prior to the internet.
It's like, uh, whatever, close enough. But yeah,
Okay.
before text
um.
messages. Let's do that. Before text messages. That's a nice middle
So
ground.
clearly I agree with you. I mean, society is to blame for insecurities when it comes to overprotection of phones, because one, I think one media is one because media makes it seem like your phone. If I'm hiding it from you, that means that, like, I saw this video the other day. This guy, you know what? I think this was the reason why I came up with this topic. It was a YouTube. Actually, it wasn't YouTube. I don't know what it was. I think it was a Facebook video. This guy left his phone in his girlfriend's car, and his girlfriend dropped him off. And after she drove away, he started sprinting down the street after the car. And everyone in the comment, and I guess the girl was recording the YouTube video. I was like, I keep saying YouTube. The Facebook video. And everyone in the comment section was like, "Oh yeah, he's definitely cheating. Yeah." Like they were so confident, and I'm like, bro, maybe he just wanted his phone. Maybe he see her once a week and he don't want to be without his cell phone for a
For a
week.
week, yeah.
Maybe he got personal information on that phone, like credit cards and other stuff related to personal information and personal debt that he doesn't know this girl well enough to trust with that information. I like the first one of maybe he just wanted his damn phone because we are on our phones all the time. If I left my phone in a car, I'm running after that thing just like him. I want my phone. First
Like
of all, I
I
spend
don't
a
know.
lot of money on it. Second, I rely a lot on my cell phone.
Yeah.
So, like everyone else does in 2023. So, why is it
What?
so fun? Like, why are we automatically saying, "Oh yeah, he's cheating" because how fast he's running after? Mind you, he's in a car. Like she's in a car, so
You got to
he's
run
trying
towards
to.
it.
Like if she was walking, I don't think he would be running. He'd probably just scream her name or something, and she would stop. And then he'd walk over to her, get the phone, and then they'd probably kiss each other, and then he'd go back home. But she's in a car. Like he can't sit there and scream. I mean, it's not gonna work. He
And I
can't
don't know.
call her.
And yeah, exactly, because
Yeah.
that'd be my reaction. Oh, just call her and say come
So
back. But you
what's
can't.
the other better option? Run after the car and hope she sees you, right? I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
So, and it's stuff like that whole reaction in the comments is what I didn't like. It's like, why are you guys automatically assuming this person's cheating?
Okay.
He needs
All
his
right.
cell phone. He wants his cell phone.
How
Like,
about this?
come
Uh,
on.
and this is what sealed it for me, and it's like it makes the difference so readily apparent. If you went somewhere like out and out somewhere, right, and you left a valuable item and you started driving home and you made it an hour, like let's say you drove somewhere far, you made it an hour to closer towards your destination, and you realized, oh my goodness, I don't have my wallet. Would you turn around and drive an entire hour back to get your wallet and then drive the hour back again to
An
go back
hour. If
towards
we're
home
talking about an hour, yes.
for
If
your
it's something
wallet?
longer than that, I'm probably gonna. I think it
Okay,
depends.
he likes driving. Okay, everybody else
No,
who's
no,
normal,
no,
the
no,
normal
no.
human being.
Hold on. I think it depends on where I went. Like if I went to like a public place, I'm just gonna call and be like, "Hey, listen, I left my wallet there."
You went to a
Um,
park. You went to a park. There's nobody else there.
oh,
There's a,
if I went to a
there's
park, you best believe I'm driving back there. You kidding me?
there's about,
2
yeah.
hours away, I'm driving back. I want. I need my. I need my stuff.
for your
You can't.
wallet, right? But
Yeah.
for okay, for me, if it was 2 hours away and I'd be like, oh, it's gone. Like I'd be like, oh, it's gone. I have to cancel all my cards and stuff. I wouldn't even bother driving the 2 hours back. If it was my phone though, I'm driving that 2 hours back immediately. I'm like, I wouldn't even. There's no hesitation. I'm turning the car around and driving immediately back.
You know what? I'm trying to think. I think it might be switched for me. I think if I think I would go back for my wallet, but for my cell phone, I probably would just buy a new phone.
What kind of phone? What kind of you got, Mister Moneybags over here? Oh,
No, it wouldn't be. I wouldn't get the same phone I have. I'll probably get some like beat up fucking, a little something something to get me through. You know, I wouldn't like. I wouldn't be going to get another. I have a Galaxy, you guys. I wouldn't be going to get another Galaxy.
well, you.
I would probably get like a ZTE or I don't know the
Oh,
first iPhone or something like
I.
what I mean. Like I'll get some old phone, to
Well,
get me around.
listen. I would pull over, call every single company, and cancel my cards, and be like, send a new one, and then just keep driving.
First of all, I need my no. No.
All of my cards are on my phone, so
You know
like,
what?
I don't.
You know why I think I would go back for for my wallet versus my cell phone.
Why?
I feel like my wallet. I feel like if I leave my phone anywhere, it's gone. Like whoever finds it is gone. You know. I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel that way with my wallet.
Well, because it's not as valuable. So,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Think about that. If you're gonna rob someone nowadays, like okay, of course you take the wallet. But if someone like if you misplace something, and it's just like you said, if you misplaced it and it's your phone, it's not going to be there when you get back, even though you're going to go there and look for it. You're like, there's like a 10% chance I'm going to find it because someone's going to pick it up and take it. But if it's your wallet, if the person is not a criminal, they're going to be like, yeah, whatever. But so does that mean your phone's easier to steal? What? It doesn't make any sense. It means that your phone is inherently more valuable than your wallet.
You know what? I was going to correct you on something. Oh, you know what? Maybe you're right, and let me tell you why. So I went on a date one time with this guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was like what 3, 4 years ago, and I wouldn't even really classify it as a date either. I think it was just more so like you know,
Getting to know you, Tiffany.
it was just like one of those things. Where it was like, oh, let's just go hang out somewhere. So we went to Panera, right? And then afterwards, we went to Target, nearby Target,
Mm-hmm.
and we went through all of Target. And then he decided that he didn't decide, but I should say he realized, not decide. Decide sounds funny. He realized that he did not have his wallet. So basically, found out that someone took his wallet. So he put it down at Panera Bread, and someone came in and took his wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Basically, the manager said that if it was your phone, it probably would still be here because uh, phones are very easy to track. Actually, oh no! Now that I think about it, he actually left both. He left his phone and he left his wallet. And when he
Okay.
came back, only his phone was there. And I remember the manager saying he probably just left the phone because it's easy to track. So if he would have took the phone, he's basically asking for himself to get arrested. While if he would have just took the wallet, then
Ninety
he's pretty
percent
much
chance.
Gucci. So that has me thinking that, and maybe that's the reason why I'm saying if it's my phone, oh, you know what? Now that it's making me change. I don't know if I still would want to go back for my phone. Hmm.
Really? Hmm. Interesting question, right? Interesting thought
Does that
experiment.
change your outlook at all? That story?
A little bit. I think it's an interesting thought experiment. You know? Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. So what do you?
I think it changes it, but it doesn't because just because it's easier to steal one or easier to steal the other, it doesn't change the fact that a wallet is infinite. It should be infinitely more valuable than your phone, because your phone should be locked. It should be locked, right? So no one
Yeah.
should be able to get into it. And so if no one can get into it, they can't access any of your private information and everything. But your wallet is, there's no lock. There's just cards and whatever, you know money, cash,
You know
just
what?
instantly useful things.
So if that's the case, you know your phone's more likely going to be there. So would you go back for your phone?
In my personal experience, every single time I've misplaced my wallet, it's been there, found it, right? Every single time I misplaced my phone, or anyone I know has misplaced their phone, gone instantly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's just, I don't know. I think you muted yourself really quick there.
No, I'm back. Yeah, sorry about that. So,
Okay, so that
um,
I think that shows that society is a little bit to blame for overprotectiveness.
definitely. Yeah. I mean,
Anyone can cheat. Anyone can feel envy. And if you feel envy, dear listener, please talk to your therapist and see how you can manage and regulate that,
what was our
because it's
first
not a
topic?
healthy
Oh, therapy. You're literally. I'm sorry.
because it's not a healthy emotion. No one's like, I feel so jealous. Great, that'll help me in the future.
You know what, Mr. Duran? I wasn't going to end this. I was going to end this on this note, but I want to add in a pet peeve.
Go ahead, add one in.
I'm going to. I hate when people use group pictures as their profile pictures.
That should be banned. I
I
agree.
can't stand it, especially on dating apps. Um,
I 100% agree.
because I've literally seen people who they had three pictures on there and all of them are group pictures, and I'm like, I'm going to swipe left on you because I don't know who's who.
Because
I don't know.
I'm telling you what that is. If that's ever the case, it's because of the person that's not that attractive, and they're hoping that you think that they're one of their more attractive friends who's in every picture.
Okay, now you're telling me that you're ugly and you have no confidence at all.
If you don't post a
Your
picture of
confidence is
yourself,
so
then yeah.
shot that you literally purposely went through your phone and said, "Let me find pictures of myself with other people and put that as my picture on my dating profile."
Well, people want to pretend like they have friends and like, look, I'm with people in every photo.
When
No,
were you supposed to? At what point are you supposed to point out who? You
you're
don't even
supposed to.
have anything.
Well,
When are you?
uh-huh.
At what point in the conversation are you supposed to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm that person. Yeah, this is actually a picture of just me."
No, no,
Like,
no. I think
listen, I don't. If I don't never spoke to you and I'm only at the stage where I'm swiping left and swiping right, the least I get to know is
who
I've
are
even
you?
seen people hide their name.
Oh, I've
Okay,
seen it too.
and that I don't care about. Okay, fine. You want to hide your name? Tell me later on. So be it. Right. I need
Hmm.
to know what you look like, buddy. I need what are you doing? What are you doing? Now, if you want to do it on your Facebook account or you know, Twitter or whatever, X, whatever you want to call it, Instagram,
We're calling it
fine,
Twitter.
you can. You know, you can do that. Okay, because most of the people on your Facebook or wherever already know what you look like. Okay, so they're like, oh, I know who that is. Is I don't know why he's standing next to all them hot people. He's clearly the
Stop.
the
Stop.
he's clearly the big old minivan behind in the back. Like it's stuff like it's stuff like that. Like but
It doesn't do anything for anyone, because either they're no one ever sees, like, first, because people who are usually conventionally attractive will not post only group pictures. They won't do it. It's not something that they do. And so you're just setting yourself up for failure, because you're already not the most conventionally attractive person, and now you're gonna spring it on someone as a surprise.
but but I think you're really downplaying the lack of confidence. It's like broski, you telling me immediately right off the bat that you have zero confidence in who you are as a person. You
Mm-hmm.
can't even put up a picture of yourself on a damn meaningless profile of a dating app.
Right. I'm supposed to try and find out who the heck you are from
I'm supposed to
like
find
comparing every one of these pictures because sometimes it's different people in the group pictures and just being like, oh, that's the one person that's the same as all the other people as the all the other pictures.
just
I can
think
find
about
that
that.
person in all the pictures.
I'm
No.
supposed to be finding hypothetically. I'm supposed to be finding my significant other, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to be finding my my one
Best
and only,
friend for life or whatever.
my
Yep.
best
Mm.
friend for life, my future husband, future wife, blah 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 blah.
Rada rada.
And your selling point is group pictures, all of them, all your pictures, group pictures, and then
How about this? You better have
you
a
don't even
fire
have
bio.
you don't even have the common decency to say, hey, I am the person on the far left. I'm the person in the middle. I'm the person in the right. Instead, you decide to tell me about your hobbies and your dogs.
The only
And
way, yeah,
like, come on.
the only way you can have group photos, in my opinion, and I think you should have them, but it should be after you have a photo of yourself, so I can say, "Hey, look, this is a person. Oh, hey, look, they have
I
friends."
I want at the most one group picture. One.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, I want to see you. I don't want to see anyone you've been hanging out with. I don't.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because I'm not dating them. I don't plan on dating them. Like I want to date you. I have interest in you. Why are you sending? Why? Are you, what's with these pictures of you and these?
It's a lack of self confidence.
Exactly. And I'm supposed to swipe right on you, bro. I ain't swiping left on you because you're ugly. I'm swiping left on you because you have no confidence and you're just telling me that up front.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's embarrassing. Well, I wanted to end on that note, on that little pet peeve.
And
Um,
don't let that bother you guys.
what?
Like the listeners. Don't let that pet peeve get under your skin too much.
Oh,
And everybody who's doing it, stop immediately.
yeah, and just don't do it. It's just stupid. Don't do it.
Nobody wins. Everyone loses.
Especially you, because all I'm gonna do is swipe left on you and then move on to the next
Yeah,
person.
yeah. You're gonna feel terrible no matter what because you surprised yourself. You surprised someone with yourself, and
Oh,
again,
and you think you're
exactly,
not confident now? Imagine if
exactly,
someone does take a chance on you and swipe right, and then you send the actual picture, and you really are truly ugly to them. Now you about to officially find out that you are not attractive because they're going to let you know in some way, shape, or form. See, at least, and if you just show yourself right off the bat, all people have to do is just swipe left, and that's how you know. Actually, you never will know
exactly,
who's going to fight.
exact. See, it's better for you. It's
But
better for
now
them. It's
they're
better
gonna
for everyone.
unmatch you. They're probably gonna say something smart. Now you put yourself in a predicament where it's like, okay, I'm gonna get my feelings crushed, and it's all
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
okay. If you are built like a Chrysler Pacifica, let it show. Okay.
What?
If you look
Okay.
like if you look like on a good day a pizza pie, let it show. Okay.
But body
If you
positivity.
know if you have a face that only a mother could love, let it show. Because even though I'm saying those things, someone else out there is gonna like it, and they would have swiped right on you had they
And
thought
they
you
can't
had
even
more.
do it now because you done stopped them from doing it.
And you
You
stopped
said
them
no to
because you have no
yourself.
confidence.
Exactly. You don't
You
say
have
no
zero.
to yourself.
Exactly. There's some people out there who like big old Chrysler Pacifica people. You know,
Stop.
they do. I mean, they like they like big old Toyota Sienna. You know, big Rav four back cabins. They like them. You know, there's some people out there who they actually don't think what society's version of hot, quote unquote hot, they don't even find it attractive. They're like, I need some type of, I need a smidget of abnormal because that's perfect to me. Just a smidget.
Mm-hmm.
You know? There's some people out there. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, you guys.
Yes, it
Okay,
is. Love
I mean,
yourself.
all right.
Love
Like I said,
yourself because society won't necessarily do that for you. So just love yourself.
exactly, and like I said, you're gonna if you are ugly or someone told you you ugly, and you put all them pictures up there, and someone swipes right on you trying to take a risk, thinking you probably the hot one in all the pictures, right? And you tell them who you are, and you're unattractive to them, you are going to get your feelings hurt. Because the worst thing they can do is, I should say, the best thing they can do is unmatch you, which is going to hurt. The worst thing they can do is tell you about how old you are and then unmatch you, which is even more painful. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's a lose lose situation for everyone if you do it, and it's a win win situation for everyone if you don't.
exactly, sport. I mean, listen, sport yourself. Okay, someone out there is gonna like it, and they're gonna like it. I'm telling you that somebody's gonna like it simply because you are showing nothing but pure confidence. It doesn't
Okay.
matter what your back look like.
Okay.
You
Yep.
know, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter what your face looks like. You know what I mean?
All
It
right,
doesn't
guys.
matter how long it takes you to get up the steps. Like, only thing that
Stop.
matters is the amount of confidence that you bring to the table. And I'm sorry, but you just don't show it when you have three classrooms full of people in all your pictures.
Okay.
So, I mean, come on. So, on that note, it has been a pleasure talking to all of you, and
It
I
absolutely has.
cannot wait to do it again.
Let's do it again soon.
Let's do it again soon. Till next time.
Yep. Bye bye.
Goodbye, and see you soon.